Ibrahim al Marashi, thanks so much for joining us. You know, the Prime Minister is actually looking at reshuffling his cabinet, so there's some government restructuring going on. But I mean, can this government overcome its political and sectarian divisions in order to actually deal with these protesters and their demands properly?
This has been a demand from the protesters since Muqtada Sadr kind of took over the protest in between 2015 and 2016. You can reshuffle the cabinet. The question is, will you hire technocratic leaders who have the technical expertise to manage the economy, infrastructure, water, electricity, social benefits? This is what we need to watch out for.
Okay, so what's the end game here? How much can the government actually do?
So the end game is what the Iraqis have been asking for. Since 2015, the Iraqis have been demanding action, kind of the implementation of a technocratic cabinet. It seems that the government has been delaying or just playing the same old game of allotting cabinet posts via sectarian quotas. Ideally, the end game would be forming a technocratic cabinet with the experience and skills in governance to deliver demands. That goal, that end game, has been elusive so far for the Iraqis.
Okay, because some say those sectarian quotas and the actual structure of Iraq's democracy is the fundamental problem here. It may be representative, but it doesn't really allow the government to serve the people because it can't take decisions properly.
Absolutely. So once the cabinet member from, let's say, a particular party that kind of meets the sectarian quota has been chosen, then that particular minister down the ranks of, let's say, the ministry he or she controls would hire party loyalists. Again, not necessarily people hired for their competence, but for their political affiliation. And that not only leads to kind of incompetence in terms of administration, but then that particular ministry will hire a company that was loyal to the party. Again, a company not necessarily chosen, given a tender not because of its qualification, but its connections to that particular politician. That leads to the corruption.
Right. Okay, let me ask you then quickly about the security response here. I mean, we have live rounds fired, we have tear gas, and now there's this curfew imposed. Is there not a better way?
The response has been extreme and disappointing, given that there's been a history of protests where the security forces have been, relatively lenient in terms of the responses. Last summer during the protests in Basra, the security forces overreacted, and this is what's happening now. The protesters don't have violent demands. They're not calling for the overthrow of the government. So the security response has been too harsh.
Okay. Ibrahim al Marashi, we're going to have to leave it there. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us from Madrid.